Hey everyone, so you want to buy a home but don't know where to begin? We'll find out later on today. Welcome to The Real Tea, my weekly segment where I spill the tea on what's happening in the real estate market. I'm here today with Brandon Davis, branch manager and loan originator at Amerifirst Poland's office. Hey Brandon, how are you doing today?
What do you say, Abby? Thanks for having me.
No, this is great. I'm so happy that I'm actually able to have a loan officer on today. This is really something that I think is important for people to know going into buying their first home. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having us.
No problem. We're going to go ahead and get started with some icebreakers just to warm up a little bit before we dig deep into the actual content of the show. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. All right, so these are going to be some questions to get started. Are you a early bird or a night owl?
I'm definitely not an early bird.
No.
I do get started in the morning, and I tend to pick up speed throughout the day. And I was on the phone last night at 9:30 talking to a veteran in Salem, actually.
Okay. All right, yeah, so I'm kind of the same. Like, it just depends on the day. Sometimes I'm an early bird. Usually I like to go to bed a little bit early. Don't talk to me before I have my morning coffee. That's all.
I enjoy coffee myself.
All right. Next question. Where is your favorite vacation spot?
Well, I just got back from the Outer Banks. My sister has a cottage down there in Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina.
Nice.
And I have a lot of family up and down the eastern seaboard, frankly, but most of them are centered in Southern Virginia and North Carolina and South Carolina. So
yeah.
Hello to y'all in the South.
Yeah, I've never been to the Outer Banks, but I always wanted to go. A lot of my friends go down there for vacations, and I heard it's a blast. So
it is. I've been going there since I was a little kid.
Oh, it's great. So there's some history there too. So.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. What is your favorite restaurant to eat at in town?
Oh my. Well, I grew up in central Pennsylvania with a friend of mine named Josh DiNapoli, and his family owns Steamer's Stonewall Tavern down in North Lima, down by the Turnpike. So
okay.
We go there frequently.
Yeah, no, I've been there. Been there multiple times. It's great food, and I like their little patio that they have set up outside. So
spicy shrimp, hot and spicy shrimp at the steam bar.
Yeah. Okay, last question. Do you own any pets?
I do. I have a dog named Red. He's a coonhound.
Oh. Okay.
You ever see where the red fern grows?
What?
Did you ever see where the red fern grows as a kid? Old Yeller, and then where the red fern grows. So I'm showing my age. That's the type of dog.
Okay. No, I love that.
You'll blow your eyes out if you watch it. So
yeah, I'll have to. I recognize the name that you had said, but I've never actually seen the movie, so I'll definitely have to. But I have 2 dogs of my own, since I thought I'd throw that question in there, since yesterday was National Puppy Day, Dog Day. So.
Do you like country music?
Yeah.
Blake Shelton?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. The dog named Red, that's what he sings about. Grab my lantern, grab my gun. Red's going out to have a little bit of fun. That's the song.
Okay.
That's the dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to look up the dog after, because I can't picture it in my head. But
you should share your screen right now.
I should. Maybe we'll do that later at the end of the show in the blooper section. But yeah, so thanks for being on, like I said, and I definitely have some good questions to ask you, about, first steps into buying your first home. But before we get into that, I know we did some icebreakers, but why don't you tell us a little bit about your professional background, Brandon?
Well, I went to school in Slippery Rock University, which is in Western Pennsylvania. And my 30-second elevator speech is, I thought I wanted to go to medical school and be a doctor. So I took a job as a prelude to med school doing mortgage banking back in October of 1998. And this October, that'll be 22 years. So moved to Boardman, Ohio, and have lived here since 2000.
Wow.
So Northeast Ohio has been home for 20 years.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Definitely. I've grown up in this area, and I'm happy that you stayed. So
I like it here.
Yeah, definitely. So to kick off the show, this is the question that everyone here has been waiting for. We'll pretend that it's me. I'm kind of in the home market a little bit. wanting to move out of my parents' house, graduated from OU and still living at home, Corona to put a damper on some things. But what are some of the first steps? I want to buy a home, first time home buyer. What do I expect? Where do I begin?
So I speak in references, analogies, and shapes a lot. So you work, if you're buying a house, you work in a triangle. You have a realtor, you have a lender, and you have yourself. If you're going to renovate a home, you make it a square, you add a contractor or build a home. And so you should probably start with either a lender or a realtor. And then before a realtor is really going to work very much with a person, they're going to need to know their background, what's their buying power, where do they want to be. And so especially in today's market, you need to be prepared for that. And with our referral partners, one of the things that we stress and emphasize that really helps people build some confidence and learn how to buy a house. People think they want to buy a house, and until they know how to buy a house, how does the money work? What's the foundation of how much money am I going to need at closing? There's lingo that you should learn as a consumer so that you're more prepared. So down payment is not synonymous with cash to close. So there's more money than needed just the down payment. So if you're sitting at home and you're buying a $100,000 house and the down payment's 3.5%, and you look in your bank account and you think, great, I have $3,500 in my bank account, I can buy a house. It doesn't work like that. So you've got to learn as the buyer, how that's all going to impact what it is that you're going to have for a monthly payment. Where do you want to be? What's the house going to consist of? That's the realtor side of things. And they can talk about location and schools and amenities. And then they can do that in general, but to tell you more specifics, they need to know how much you can afford in a monthly payment. And so there's some dialogue that a consumer should learn. And that is that a realtor cannot look for a home based on payment. A realtor looks for a home based on price points and bedrooms and school systems. So a realtor is going to talk price, a lender is going to talk payment, and you've got this borrower in the middle that's looking at both of them like it's a tennis match, wondering, what are you talking about? This is Greek to me. So you've got to translate, how does price connect with payment? And then that takes a lot of the fear associated with how the money works right out the window. And most people, just through understanding that, would probably increase price points. As an example, we had a strategy meeting 2 days ago with a referral partner, realtor in Poland, and he had referred some folks from New Middletown that he knew, and they thought they knew what they wanted in a price point, and they were looking at homes, and they were actually looking to renovate a home in the Boardman area. When they came in and they learned about their buying power, they've completely changed their search criteria. The follow-up with the realtor after the strategy meeting allowed the realtor to be able to change the search criteria. And so now they're looking all the way up into the low 200s because the borrower knows what that payment is going to be at $215,000 or $225,000. So that's very powerful. It gives people a more relaxed approach to buying as opposed to just paying attention to this, price point that they think they know when they don't really know, especially with interest rates where they are today. But that's a different topic. So to stay on topic, a little bit about strategy is associated with helping people feel more comfortable and go into the marketplace and buy something they want, especially in today's market, as hot as it is.
Yeah, that's definitely good to know, because I know, obviously, like I said, I'm not really in the market yet to look for a house, but that is good to know, because looking at, just exploring, a lot of times people just see a price and don't correlate the estimated mortgage monthly payment and how that all correlates together. So that's really good for our audience to know that. So.
And it's important too. Online information it's not designed to mislead. At the same time, if it is online in today's world, we kind of think, okay, it's online, it's real. So if you went to Zillow or Trulia or Realtor.com and you looked at a house, and I went to that same website and looked at the house, we're going to see the same payment. But our financing dictates what the payment's going to be. And so the computer doesn't know that. And the more that you learn about how that works, the more dynamic you can be as a consumer in the marketplace.
Yeah. And you definitely said, like, when you were talking about how you deal with a lot of realtors, and that's how you get a lot of your referrals were from realtors in the area. And from talking to a lot of different agents and people that are involved in the transaction process, you were saying how, like, they were talking about how good the market is right now. And everyone says, oh, interest rates are so low. Can you explain exactly what that means to a person that maybe owns a home right now and someone that is looking to buy a home? What does that mean? Low interest rates. Explain that a little bit, please.
So it's relative to the person. Okay. And so where the market is, generally speaking, if you look at the average rate in the marketplace, typically that's going to be for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. And this is a little bit of background that folks can use to their own discretion. If you have really good credit, historically, you follow the 10-year treasury and you add 1.6 to 2% to the 10-year treasury. So today, the 10-year treasury is about 66 basis points, 0.66. So interest rates are going to be in the mid to high twos for a person on a 30-year mortgage that has really good credit, at least through our company, making certain buying decisions using certain types of loans. So we have a conventional borrower with really good credit that is putting 5% down on a home, and her interest rate is 2.625%. That same borrower last year this time might have been getting 3.75%. And so the buying power is completely changed, which means that you can borrow more money for the same payment. Another example is $10,000 will cost at that rate, 2.625, 2.75%, would cost you about $44 a month if you include the mortgage insurance premium. So $44 becomes $10,000. $440 becomes $100,000, $880 becomes $200,000. And so you can begin to have better conversations if you know your factor. And that depends on the type of loan that you're doing. If you're renovating a house, the terms are still going to be really good. So you can buy, the dirty doghouse on the street that no one wants because it's all beat up.
Yeah.
You can put renovation dollars into it. And while those loans carry a slightly higher interest rate, the consumer is not out there spending money on credit cards or trying to buy a house with cash and run out of cash when you can buy it so cheap and finance it cheap with today's market the way that it is. So the real estate market is very dynamic when you're a consumer. As you learn more things about your options, you can then begin to look at more opportunities in the marketplace. And your realtor or whomever it is that you're working with is going to have more options to help you find really what you want, the home you love.
Yeah, no, definitely. That is good. There's all those different types of loans out there, so it's good to know all the different types. Are there any more that we missed?
Well, there's a lot of loans, young lady. So to cover them all, I will say that
because I have no idea.
Yeah, and those are all things that everybody would learn independently to themselves. But I will say one unique characteristic that Amerifirst offers is, with just about every loan, so if it's a USDA loan, a VA loan, Hello Veterans, a conventional loan, a first-time home buyer using an FHA loan, and by the way, you can use an FHA loan as many times as you want. All of those loans at Amerifirst also have a renovation option.
Oh, wow, okay.
You can buy a house and fix it up with a USDA loan. You can buy a house and fix it up with an FHA loan. So those are things that we teach, and that's part of that strategy meeting that makes the borrower, the buyer, more dynamic with how they can think about what they want to do.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So moving on, obviously we talked about all the different types of loans. So why don't you just talk a little bit about Amerifirst and how they are set apart from other mortgage lenders in the area?
Well, we're a small business, and the Northeast Ohio, Mahoning Valley is catered and really supports small business. And Amerifirst is headquartered in Kalamazoo. And one of the things that's important to recognize is, while that's our headquarters, just like other companies have headquarters elsewhere, we have branch presence, retail presence throughout the country, from Florida to California to Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, you name it. We're in several states. So that allows us to be able to help folks directly across the line in Pennsylvania. I grew up in central Pennsylvania, so I'm helping friends, what I call back home, near State College, PA, buy a house, renovate homes, new construction lending there as well. So in terms of what Amerifirst can offer and who we are a private mortgage bank headquartered in Kalamazoo, Michigan. We are a direct provider of loans to the secondary market, which means Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. You hear that lingo a lot, especially right now with interest rates the way they are. So we do our own loans, we underwrite our own loans, we approve our own loans, we close our own loans, and you make payments to Amerifirst, and that's called servicing. So a lot of that is really the sole source of our focus is the housing market, residential, which is a one single family home to a 4-unit home, like an apartment building. So you can use different types of loans to buy that type of real estate. You can be a real estate investor and use those loans. You can be a second home, a vacation home up at Lake Erie, and you can buy your primary residence, all at Amerifirst.
Oh, that's great. You also talked a little bit about how you work really closely with realtors, and I kind of wanted to dig deep into that a little bit. So obviously you have a good relationship with a lot of local agents in the area. Is there any specific, do you have a favorite agent that you refer people to?
My girlfriend is a real estate agent, Catherine Ash, and James Marzo at Bergen Real Estate. Those are some top realtors that we work with in the Mahoning Valley. A gal on our team, Vicki Wooden, who you also know, is a realtor in Trumbull County. And so there's others in Trumbull County that we work with. And we get out into the Stark and the Akron markets, Stark, Canton area. We work with a team down in Alliance, Remax, Jessica Conrad team. So there's a dynamic world that we operate in. And if it's within 2 hours, I typically try to meet with people face to face. It's an oddity these days. There's a lot of stuff that's done online. We're online right now. But there's also a pandemic out there too. How come you're not wearing your mask right now?
Well, it's right here. But how has that been going? That is kind of interesting to see how have you been conducting business? Obviously people might not want to meet in person. How's it been?
So it's a challenge. It's different, and rightly so. I mean, there's things that you have to pay attention to in today's world that you didn't have to pay attention to 6 or 8 months ago. It has added some fuel to the fire of anxiety with certain folks. Now, so you're buying a house and it's a pandemic, and are you sick, and did your grandma die, and is that the reason that you're buying the house? There's a lot of emotions that go into, when you're buying a home, and then add the financial piece, and then add the health piece with it that we're dealing with today. So it's definitely a challenge. It weighs on people's emotions sometimes. At the same time, it's also been very good for us from a learning curve to be able to work remote, have people that are working remote. And that's one of the things at Amerifirst that we're very keen on, is that we're not necessarily at a central hub. People are spread out throughout the country and working from home, even before all of this. So you don't necessarily have to go to one spot and just stay in that spot in today's world. In fact, right now I'm in Squaw Creek in Trumbull County, and there's some meetings afterwards that we're having here as well.
Yeah, well, that's good that you guys are actually having meetings and everything. I've definitely been trying to go out and obviously meet people safely face to face with the masks and the social distancing. But so that's good that you guys are adapting, and that's, A+. So before we end the show, I wanted to share my screen with some of our audience members. It looks like we have some more people logging on. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen. So if anyone that's watching right now that has any questions from Brandon, I have the comments up. So definitely leave some comments if anyone wants him to answer any questions. So that's open. I'm going to go over here. So this is his page, a little bit about him. That is your email. So if anyone is interested and needs a mortgage officer, definitely go down here. And I wanted to really point out that your videos that you have. So this is your website. Do you want anything to talk about your website, Brandon?
You can go there to get pre-approved. You can go there and learn a little bit about different types of loans. As you can see, the tabs there are talking about purchase and pre-approvals, renovation loans. You can refinance. Sure, the website is very dynamic, and it caters to not only the public, but also real estate agents. You can see the realtors tab in the top right-hand corner.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about the things that we bring to the table and how those relationships are magnified.
Yeah.
And enriched.
I really wanted to shed light on your videos that you do in your video library. Even like for me, obviously I just graduated from college. I have some student debt under my belt. I know that there is a lot of helpful information. What are these? The breaking the myths.
Yeah, that's a series that we continue to do sparingly because there's so much content with it already. But like we're doing today, we go back to it and we learn about student loans and college debt and how does that work in the pre-approval phase of someone buying a house that's coming right out of school. So different loan programs account for and impact how someone's going to be pre-approved. So a conventional loan through Freddie Mac, for example, doesn't have as much of an expense ratio for a student loan as a conventional loan with Fannie Mae. Still a conventional loan, just a different, provider of that end product. So so when you're getting pre-approved, you can begin to understand, oh, wow, I didn't know about this, and I can borrow more for a home through this loan program, and I'm able to afford that payment responsibly, and it fits my budget. Whereas, this program over here, this loan program that is contrary to that, doesn't allow me to actually buy the house that I really want, that I can afford because of the way the student loans are calculated.
Okay.
So that Breaking Myth series, which are dozens of videos in there, is interesting and helpful.
Yeah, I'll definitely I'll put the link to your website where people can find the videos. In the description here, I'll put it, and I'll actually do it right now. And I will also put it in the description on businessjournaldaily.com when this is posted, just so people are able to go on and, click it and go right to your website. But is there anything else that you want to share with our audience today before we end the show?
Not in particular that it hasn't really been discussed so far. We do work as a team, so it's not all about Brandon. There's a team of 7 that works in the office, 3 different loan officers. Our processing team is really stuff that I'm proud of over the years, putting that quality of a team together. So appreciate you spending time with us today and letting us talk about it.
Yeah, this was great. Definitely really helpful, educational, and I'm sure that this is going to do great. So definitely thank you so much for being on the show today. I appreciate your time. And
we appreciate yours.
And definitely any realtors watching, go to his team, and it is just, I will definitely share this on Facebook, and it'll be great. So you can share it as well.
Thanks, Abby. Appreciate you having us. Be well.
Right. Thanks, you too.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.